we were involved with the campaign of Lal Singh Chadda, and the kind of negativity, we did not foresee the tsunami of negativity that swarmed us. Months after that, everybody was reeling with the after effects.
I am thinking that that guy requires my opinion, or he values my word, that even at 2 o'clock he feels the need to bounce it off me.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm at your beck and call, not at all.
Let's not be delusional in thinking 365 days a year are going to be perfection.
You see your favorite celebrities on screen, on social media, or you may also spot them at different places. But how much do you know about the people behind them? The team that represents them, their publicists, their managers, or someone who looks at the business side of their career? Today, I'm going to speak to 3 such people who are going to tell us all about what goes on behind the scenes. With me today is Radhika Nihalani, Amit Tuli, and Jaya Saha. Hi, welcome to the Quint, and thank you so much for talking to me. Before we get into what your job really entails, I want to start with you, Jaya, and ask you, what is it that the collective really does as a company?
So we represent artists across actors, musicians, writers, producers, dancers, anything to do with popular culture we represent.
I run an agency called Studio Unis. Social media has become a very important aspect of everybody's life. That's what visibility today really, really means. So our core job is to manage visibility on social media platforms pertaining mostly to actors.
Think Inc. looks after PR in the entertainment brand space, so like Time, Z, Sony, etc., etc. And then I have an agency called Think Talkies that looks after celebrities and film.
Jaya, how long have you been doing this?
Oh my God, I almost feel like I've been doing this forever. 14, 15 years now?
Wowie.
It's been a while.
What is it exactly that your job entails when you're representing or agenting an actor today?
I can broadly put it in 3 different buckets. One, of course, is revenue. Because when you sign an actor, you're basically telling them that, hey, give me the responsibility of your career. We'll ensure that you have your bread and butter and more. Basis what
and
your
the wine and cheese.
And the wine and cheese. Second aspect is, at the end of the day, every actor is a brand. How do you cull that narrative out? Third, of course, today specifically, I think, which is the most important, is the media landscape is changing so much. The way people consume content is changing. You have to evolve to figure out what are your new business avenues.
It's very sad that I've been in this business now for so long, and everyone, including my mother, she's like, but what do you actually do? Basically, it's to keep up the public image. What's the reputation that you're trying to build, and how do you keep building that, and how do you keep evolving?
I think what COVID brought was a very sudden, very rapid change. And digital suddenly, out of one of the aspects that people used to look into became that one very important aspect that everybody converged to.
When it comes to social media, like we know, it's a huge part of our lives. So when you have to navigate, to make sure that your client is always putting their best foot forward, how do you navigate to make sure that they're not putting out something that might hamper them? Do they kind of check with you before putting things out?
Not necessarily do they need to check everything that they're putting out. There is a thought process, like I said, when you align with a brand or a celebrity, there's a thought process that you align to. They are people and they are humans, right? They might also at some point want to put out some stuff, and you can't have always a very strict lens on everything. And of course, and also in our business, however much you plan, however much things are within the universe that you want to operate in, some things will backfire, and then you figure it out. That's your job, right?
Has there ever been a point where there's something that your client has said on social media or during an interview, and you've had to quickly go into a damage control?
Actors who really know how to maneuver their world around, their internet world, are actors who are now getting not just hits, they're getting famous with brands. They're also keeping their public eye very, very clean. Now, things very little as misspelling someone's name can start a trolling campaign that can deem somebody anti-national, that can deem someone who doesn't respect their language. We always overthink, and we are always on the defensive when it comes to suggesting something to our clients. Personally, with us, there have been many, many gaffes that have created many, many headlines. Notably where we copy paste something on the caption without removing that there's the copy for this X name, this is for Facebook, this is for Twitter. Please find below. Interns who was handling the posting did that for an actress who was very commonly known as the National Crush of India. 17 seconds it took us to remove, edit that post off. In those 17 seconds, first the fans, then the anti-fans, and then the media, they all picked up that Disha Patni gets trolled and for a caption that they gone wrong, etc., etc. Thankfully, she took it in very sportingly and she's like, come on guys, copy paste. I'm like, that's exactly what he did. I meant to add the word delete. Copy paste, delete some parts. But that also gives us a great opportunity to break the barrier between, the actor, the fans and the public. Because when we do get trolled, if the actors comply or they agree with our ideas, we make them feel seem very human. We can make the situation witty, funny. They can take the joke upon themselves, and then we've actually seen the fan base grow. And from that trolling, we've actually seen a lot of brand endorsements coming in. But if in case you really miss out on important, with the climate that our political and our general public is in right now, if you're missing out on very important things that are very dear to a certain trending section of our internet society, then yes, you're castigated. If you cater too much, then you are seen as someone who's trying too much. In August last year, we were involved with the campaign of Lal Singh Chadda, and the kind of negativity, we did not foresee the tsunami of negativity that swarmed us. Months after that, everybody was reeling with the after effects. It gets really relentless, unforgiving.
But I also feel that our work is 5x when that's happening. So we need to kind of disengage and take a step back only for the reason that what's happening to that X person, you can feel bad, you do feel bad. That person is going through that, but you need to then come together and have this shield around in terms of what do you need to do in terms of their management, what do you need to do in terms of the digital, what do you need to do in terms of their PR to kind of help them. So at some level, when you get into that work kind of overdrive, you don't disassociate yourself to it, but somewhere, how they say when you really put yourself into something, then it's a distraction kind of mode. But for us, we are all 5x of what we would be when someone who we are representing is not having their best phase.
It's like you need to disconnect for the time being, fix a situation while you're feeling it, because there's no pause button, right? To feel something for somebody you're working with.
Like
And you can't fix it 5 days later, right? You got to fix it. You can't say, oh, I'm grieving and I'll fix it later. I have to fix it today.
It's like, in a nutshell, if you go to a client who's going through a rough time, he or she will look at you and say, don't sympathize, strategize.
Today, when there's something, say, unsavory being said about a client that you represent, how do you navigate through that?
It completely depends on what is the impact, because I think let's not be delusional in thinking 365 days a year are going to be perfection. But they are brands, but they're also human beings, right? And we can't control them to the extent of making them robotic. So,
And I think we shouldn't. I think that's wrong advisory
exactly.
to also want to control. We should not control them.
Some people are slightly more edited and controlled. Some people are all about the cutesy. But Instagram or social media is also as curated as it is. It's still an extension of their persona. There has to be some amount of honesty in it. Otherwise, everyone will just look like clones of each other.
A lot of actors now refrain from giving interviews before films. They wanted to select media. Do you, as a publicist, have you seen that change where the actors are a little more careful and they, really weigh their options or weigh the words that come out of the mouth today because of the polarized society and the times that we are living in?
I don't see them wanting to do less interviews, but yes, they are way more conscious. I think everyone has become careful in what they are saying. They're watching their word a lot more. But at least from our side, we definitely tell them that you have to bring your own personality. Otherwise, every interview will sound the same. If I had to write a quote for all the actors that I represent, however hard I try, there will be something which is common to me that will reflect in each of them. My job is to not create another person.
Absolutely.
Right. I'm not saying that you have to do, let's go feed some children because it's a good thing to do. If you don't feel like feeding children, it's totally fine.
And you can see the difference. It really shows when someone's doing it. It's very obvious. One of the biggest challenges that you'll face while doing this job.
Not quitting. Like literally not quitting. It's hard. I mean, there are insane highs. Some of the things that we have exposure to in a regular day, we won't be exposed to the kind of people we meet, the kind of conversations we have. The highs are high and the lows are low, and the pressure is intense. So it does take you some time to just shift gear a bit and be like, listen, do you have to pull every hair on your scalp out?
Have a client that you don't agree with the way they think or the way their career needs to move forward. Do you find it challenging to kind of convince them, or again it depends upon who's sitting across?
We have very intense debates, and then it depends who wins the debate. But one thing that we as a company are very clear about is that at the end of the day, it's their career. It has to be their choice. I know there's a perception that, oh, you know, the agencies or the agents or the managers, they decide where the client sits, what they wear, what they do. That's not true. Or if that is happening, I mean, someone needs to give me that secret recipe.
We are also their reality checks, right? Yeah. It's important for us to show them that, okay, fine, you don't want to do this, or you don't want to do this film. And I'm not overstepping, I would think that's the case, but it's definitely in PR, that if you don't, it's fine. It's totally fine. But then these are the pros and cons. So you are, what would be wrong on my part to let him follow that route without showing the reality, right? Okay, fine, now you want to do this and now you're not agreeing. It's not an ego tussle, right? That, okay, fine, you want to do it, you do it. Does not matter. You're not listening to me. It's not that. It's that you knowingly go into what you're doing, and that's how I have their back.
Amit, since you do look at a lot of digital marketing and PR, right? Today, because the day and age we live in, everything that is said or some things that are said, they're either sensationalized or they're misconstrued very quickly, right? So when you look at situations like this, I would think it kind of gets out of hand very quickly.
So there are multiple tactics that you can use as contingency plans, in which you know, you can either be upfront about it, own it, take it forward, make it, you know, sometimes even controversies have been made silly by introducing some wit or
humor. Such an important tool. Such an important tool.
So that's a great, I think, weapon to have, and clients who have that sense of humor, who can pull that off, are our biggest assets. Ones that we know that may falter again.
Takes all kinds to make the world.
Yeah. So for them, we then you know, generate something called ORM today.
Sounds like some nuclear weapon that's being left out in the world.
So then we have to fill the internet with that sentiment that this person is being targeted because of this reason. So then we have to deflect.
You know, Swati, there cannot be a template for handling crisis. You cannot be, right? You have to assess every situation, and then at that situation, I mean, you can have a roadmap that if it goes this way, possibly this, if it goes this way. But you have to really assess the situation, the sentiment, the reaction, that stress situation. Does it need? Because most of the times it actually does not warrant a reaction. And you know, are you really adding fuel to the fire? I mean, you should not be.
So like, let's say a client of mine has anger issues.
Wow.
We have actually sold the pitch of anger issues to a brand and got a brand endorsement where the client is being angry in the first 30 seconds of that particular video. And the video played out really well and it went viral, and you know, sometimes a public outrage that was caught in the camera and the client got trolled for it, we used it as an opportunity months later. So sometimes even the worst controversies become, you know, like something that could be the biggest PR stunts that we can pull.
Okay, so at this table, collectively, y'all represent some of the biggest names in the industry. If there's something that y'all had to tell people who want to get into this and make this a career, what are some of the few things that you'd like to tell them, Radhika?
It's a hard job, it's a lot of fun, but you have to love what you do. Okay, you are shaping people, and if you're ready for that responsibility, it's a great responsibility to have. So I don't feel like I am at someone's, you know, why is someone calling me should I be available at 2 o'clock in the morning? I am thinking that that guy requires my opinion, or he values my word, that even at 2 o'clock he feels the need to bounce it off me. So I don't feel like I'm at your beck and call, not at all. I feel like my word or my opinion or whatever I have learned in these many years matters, then I've done something right.
This is the only field that's growing exponentially. think that this is not something that you're doing for like a year where you get, after that you get your real job. Start thinking of it as your real job.
Opportunities you have are insane, but it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not a bank job, it's not a 9 to 5, it is what it is. So if you want to do something special wherein you actually wake up every day and you don't know what's going to hit you, and that's the excitement of it, so you're never bored, this is the job.
Thank you so much, you guys, and good luck. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you so much,
guys.
Swati.
Thank you so much.